Thank you all so much for having me today. I feel really actually very honoured to be presenting amongst the people that have been presenting today and will be presenting today. The colour's been absolutely amazing, so hopefully you'll go, oh, that was good, but Rosie's better. Thank you. Most people in this room have probably met me and seen it before, but there would be a few sort of newer VAs who go, I don't know who the hell you are, and get off. But this is one of my wives. This is Ella, and as you can see, I believe that working with children is really easy, so fun, calm, beautiful, and so I'm going to give you advice on how you can achieve that too. I've been working in the VA industry for 14 years now, and I have seen VAs come and go. Kathy would be the same. I've seen them just a lot go. So the fact that you're here today, and some of you who have been in business for a couple of years already, massive hats off to you, because there are so many people who cannot do what you're already doing. I've seen it many, many, many times, okay? So during that time, I've seen people do great things. I've seen people looking like they're doing great things and then just do colossally bad things. And of course, I've seen people who just never take off. So I want to talk to you about today about some of the things that I believe can make you stand out as a VA. I'm also anti-bullshit, anti-hustle. You may have noticed that already over the last 2 days. I don't believe in telling you that you should be doing things this way and you should be making this sort of money and you should be telling everyone you do this, that and the other. Keep it real. You've all got your own reasons for doing this. You're all amazing, and that's not bullshit, that's not hustle, you are. And so today I'm just going to keep it real and tell you how I think you can step up a bit. So the first one, and this is something that a couple of the presenters have touched on already, is knowing who you are and why you are. I talk to a lot of VAs about their big why. And I think Linda where's Linda gone? She keeps hiding. Linda mentioned her children as her why, and I hear that really, really often, that my children are my why. And I started off my business with the idea that my children would be my big why as well, and I didn't even have any at that stage. I'd been a nanny, and I was working in the disability sector, and I knew I wanted to work at home so I could see all those great and hideous milestones that my children would be achieving over the years. I could be there for that. But it's actually not my big why. Because having children and being home for children doesn't direct my goal setting. It doesn't guide me with choices that I'm making in my business. It doesn't tell me who I want to work with. Okay? So you need to have a more thorough understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. One of the things that I've found useful over the years is to consider what you would be doing if money was no objection. And a lot of you would be doing something that involves supporting and caring for something or someone, yeah? And so without even realising, you've brought that into your business. And if you're finding that your business is feeling really, it's not working for me, I'm feeling really stuck, often it'll be because you've forgotten what your drivers are, personally and passionately, and you haven't brought them into your business. My goals as a teenager were to work in third world countries, managing. I wanted to be able to say, this village over here has no toilet paper. Right, that was my goal. Get it in there, right? I wanted to make sure that things were organised and people were getting what they needed. Obviously they need more than toilet paper, but you get the gist. And then I started working in the disability sector, so it showed again. So I did work overseas, and I worked in Kenya for a little while, started working in the disability sector, helping people who were socially isolated, needed a little bit of extra support to get shit done. And then somehow I ended up running a business where I'm helping people who potentially could be socially isolated, getting the support and care they need to get shit done. I'm still doing it in a completely different industry. So I know what my why is. My why is all about empowering you guys to be respected for what you're doing, paid right for what you're doing, and love what you're doing, and feel really inspired and passionate about it. So every decision I make in my business is based on those objectives. So it's not about Ella or Ruby. They're a bonus that I can work around them. But if I run a webinar or I do a training session, they are not my goalposts. They are not going to guide what I talk about. My vision, my big why is. So I really, really encourage you to have a think about what your big why is. I've done coaching sessions with a few VAs to help them work that out. And it's really, really interesting to see how people can bring their big why into their business. I've just included this quote. I just want you to have a bit of a read. The best day of your life is the one in which you decide that your life is your own, no apologies or excuses, no one to lean on, rely on or blame. The gift is yours. It is an amazing journey and you are alone responsible for the quality of it. This is the day your life really begins. We've had a few speakers again who have spoken about knowing exactly how your mistakes sort of impact or can grow your business, and that they're not mistakes as such, right? And that your past might define how you're feeling about things now, but once you step away from all that and you go, look, it's not, that's cool, I'm going to tap that away. I actually own where I'm at. My day is completely in my control in terms of how I respond to it. The things around me know, but how I respond to it is up to me. And as a VA, that business mindset is all about this, okay? Nobody owes you an income. Things that stuff up in your business are nobody else's fault, right? You're responsible for its growth. You need to step up and be a business owner. Put your big girl panties on, your big bloke G-strings on, whatever it is that you want to wear. He said, how'd she know? And just own it, be responsible for it. One of the first things that stops a VA from succeeding is blaming everybody else and thinking that everybody else owes them a job. One of the most common questions I get from new members of Viva is, how many job leads do you get? Will I get work? What do you think I say? Do you? No. There are no guarantees. I'm never guaranteeing you work. I will provide you with opportunities. I have some sugary brownies. And you know how yesterday she was saying if you eat sugar and milk, you're going to be like spitting and all that? I bought some raincoats for the front row. I knew it when I was eating them. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it. Well, I'm vegan. I'm like, yes, so what they do is they think everybody else, like you when you're an employee, you know, I deserve my sick leave, I deserve my annual leave. This boss makes so much money off the work that I do, you know? Have you all thought that as an employee, especially when you're younger? Today I'm going to do sweet F all, and they can kiss my butt. Right? As a business owner, you can still do all that, and you won't make a cent. And that's fine because it's your choice. Okay? Are we on the same page? All right. So, everyone in here, do you put your hand up if you see your business as an extension of yourself?
Yes and no.
Yeah? Yeah? There's a few in there, yeah? When you're a VA, you can build, you know, a team, and it becomes that, you know, bit bigger, like what you know, we were talking about yesterday. But at the end of the day, it is your baby. Whether you like it or not, it's your baby. And you take a lot of pride in it. And part of that whole branding, the delivery, everything like that is an extension of you. So it comes back to knowing who you are again and what drives you, because that will impact massively on your business. That's what I believe personally, because of the whole know, like and trust. If you're not living it and it's something that you're passionate about and feeling driven by, then that know, like and trust is going to be some sort of barrier there. People will see it. And I'm sure you've all met people who you feel like, okay, I know you've got your brand, I know you've got your business, and I know you're after a lot of money, but I'm not feeling much else. Have Have you met those people? And it's not really an extension of them? Yeah. So I think that's really important. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Again, back to the big why. Hopefully you can bring that in, but if you know why you're doing what you're doing, you will know who you need to do that for. Like we were talking about just before, your who. If you don't know who you're doing your work for, then you need to have a session with someone to help you work it out, because you cannot market to everybody. And I'll give you some figures later on what that would be like if you decided to target small business, for example, as your market. So know who it is and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And think about your end goal. Some of you, who here wants to sell their business when they finish up? Yeah, a couple? And who just wants to go, ooh, when they're, yeah. Yeah, so sneak out. You're not going to sneak out the door, you're going to cry at the door. So that will also direct and guide how you run your business. In terms of your business sellability is obviously a big project in itself, the way that it's set up so that it is an asset. So some people will say it's not a business unless you see it as an asset that you can sell down the track. I think that's crap personally, because the VA industry is just so unique, and it is so personal. It applies to some businesses, but not to all. The last one is, do you see your value? It's really hard to see your value when you go to a virtual assistants conference because you're a virtual assistant and everyone tells you that virtual assistants aren't worth very much. It's pretty hard, huh? We have a lot of tapping going on to get that out of you. All right. One of the things I loved about, was James, wasn't it, before? Maybe I mentioned before. Yeah. What he was talking about. He sees your value. I was talking to him about it afterwards. He sees your value. He sees it the way I see it. And I just felt an instant connection with him because he sees how amazing each of you are and the skills and the services that you have. And you think that it's nothing, but I'd love you to consider, all right, the work that I do, easy, anyone can do it. Get your husband to do it for one day. Or your wife. Do you think he's going to knock it out the park? He's going to suck at it unless he works in your business with you, and that's what he does. But you are amazing. You have skills that other people, including people who are the closest to you ever, do not have. You are easing people's business pain, which affects their life pains. Okay, this whole ripple effect thing. You guys are the start of massive ripples. That's why I get so excited about the VA industry, because game changers, ripples, all the good stuff, that's where you come in. Yet a lot of VAs come in and go, I could do VA work, when really they should be splashing. Okay, splash it. There's a few in this room, you know how amazing I think you are because I've seen your work, and I often hear, yeah, but. Okay? We all like a good but not in that context. Okay. Rant aside, one of the really fun things about running a business is policies and processes. Yeah? This is where the balloons come out and streamers come from the sky. Yeah, sometimes the really yucky bits, and some of you love doing the business processes for other people. Yeah, do you do it for yourself, Gemma?
Sometimes.
I'm pretty sure yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong.
What I say out
You
loud.
made us say, I've got all of the marketing and stuff for my businesses, my clients sorted.
Yeah.
I tell them what they need to do. I'm on it.
And I do.
And I do none for myself. So in this regards, it's another practice what you preach. You all hear me say that. It's one of my favourites. Practice what you preach. You know that the client that comes to you with the mess is insane. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to fix this. And then you look around at your desk and go, it's all right, it's cool, sure. I don't have to look at that. If you can't fix that, what do?
Hire me.
Hey! Hire me, eh? Practice what you preach. Okay, so you need to know what problem you're solving. with your business setup. Know what problem you're solving, because why? Why would anyone hire you? Why would they want you? And because who would want to hire you, want to pay you, all right? If you don't know what problem you're solving, then nobody else does either, and they're not going to hire you, yeah? Even McDonald's knows that they're going to stop the children bugging you on the long trip, okay? Know what it's worth, as I said before, to your client, not to you, okay? A transcription job of an audio file that I'm doing for a client is worth diddly squat to me, but to the client it's worth massive amounts. They can repurpose it. They didn't have to spend time doing it themselves. They probably suck at typing, or they're time poor, or there's a million reasons why you have been asked to do the job. Some are because they can't, some because they won't, some because they know they should be spending their time on something else. So when you're thinking about pricing stuff, you need to know what your break-even points are. Talk to your bookkeeper, accountant. I know, Kylie, I know, practice what you preach. Figure out what your break-evens are, what your expenses are, and all that sort of stuff, and work it out so that you can make a profit. But don't think about all of your money from in here. Yeah, would you agree, Derek?
Yeah.
It is all about what it is, the value to the client. Okay, so look at yourself from outside. Set up agreements and review dates, because we all want to stay friends. As I said in the Viva Network the other day, I had a few VAs that were saying, I haven't got agreements in place because we are friends. And one VA in particular, I said, well, you need to sort that out, because I'm guessing you want to stay friends. Yeah? I've had 2 business partnerships. One where we are not friends, and we're actually arch nemesis now. It's like gone to hell. And the other one, we're still good buddies. Which one do you think had the agreement in place? Yeah. Because when we decided this isn't working, we went, okay, well, this is what we do. It's outside of us, it's not in here. We're sad, but this is what we do. Okay? And review those. Clients will probably resist that. I had clients in the past that go, oh, I want to review it. But when you remind them that it's just as much for them as it is for you, everything you do in an agreement should be mutually beneficial, then they'll come around. And invest in yourself. Duh, you're all here. Okay? I know you guys do, which is absolutely amazing. Okay. Contingencies. You must have contingencies in place. Running your business, when the shit hits the fan, what are you going to do? The shit could be something small, like logging on and the monitor just goes, yeah, no. Computer says no. Yeah? What are you going to do? Do you have a backup plan? Okay? Yeah, cool, I'm going to use my laptop. Oh, except those files are all on, shit. They're all on the PC, right? Have you got a backup plan? Literally for that one, a backup plan, like Hardmile or something like that. What happens if you get sick? We all get sick at some stage. The majority of the people in the room have children. Children are vomitous little creatures, and they're always bringing bugs home. Mine power on through it and give it to me, which is awesome. If you've got all of your eggs in one basket, what's going to happen if your client goes, I can no longer afford you, or we're shutting up shop, or I'm going offshore? What are you going to do? What is your plan? And then, of course, and the insurance is good for this stuff too, that was being talked about yesterday. What if you F up, accidentally obviously, and whether you have or the client just thinks you have, you stuff something up massively? What is going to happen? Who in here thinks right now, I don't know what would happen? If you stuff something up, and don't tell me you won't, okay, because you will. Who here has a full-on contingency plan in place? Full-on contingency plan in place. Fantastic. That's awesome. Talk to those people. That's cool. Very, very good. So, and those are the people who will last in business. Got contingencies for most stuff. Okay, another thing I see VAs doing drives me absolutely bonkers, and they do it to each other. Yes? Who has had a VA go AWOL? Oh, yay! Yeah. Who here's gone AWOL? It was a trick question, only there'd be one idiot there again. You've gone AWOL.
Not on other VAs, but
On a client?
yeah, but health issues.
Yeah. So that was yes. If something
As
goes
soon as I
wrong.
realised what I'd done, that I wasn't communicating like I used to,
Yeah,
I owned up to it and I said, I'm sorry.
that's awesome.
I don't make excuses. I don't believe in making excuses for anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I've stuffed something up, I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you how I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's not at any cost to you. That's my time. I'll fix it on my time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's one of my team members who's stuffed up, I still pay for it, and I'll pay that person, but I won't charge it to the client.
Yeah.
But the most recently, the one time that I did go AWOL for about a week or two, I stuffed up. I'm super sorry. This is the reason why.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to do to fix it and make sure it never happens again.
Well, that's awesome. So at the end of the day, we're all going to stuff up.
Comfortable to do.
Yeah, how much out of your comfort zone will you get?
In buckets and feel spewy, but
Yeah, courage much?
You've got to own it.
Yeah. I've heard a million stories of where a VA has done the wrong thing, usually without intent to harm or kill. And when they step up and just say, oh shit, I stuffed that up, and you've all seen me do it a million times. Oh, I didn't work, I'm so sorry. And you just own it, and you work out how you're going to fix it, you let them know, and you get on with it. Okay? But if you can avoid going AWOL and have a backup plan if something like that happens, then that's your business strategy right there. So every problem has in it the seeds of its own solution. If you don't have any problems, you don't get any seeds. Same with, if you have a problem, you need to come to your client or your contractor, or whoever it is, with solutions. The most frustrating thing is when someone comes to you and says, this is the problem, full stop. Okay? I've stuffed this up, full stop. Always look at what the seeds are for solutions, always a solution. And sometimes that solution is very, very uncomfortable, but because you've got your big girl panties on or your G-string, then you'll be right, okay? Because you're a business owner. One of my favourite quotes is you can have excuses or results, you can't have both. I love that. So that's what you're saying, yeah. Excuses or results. You can use it in terms of fitness, business, anything. As soon as you start having excuses. So Kathy spoke beautifully about this yesterday, about building your networking, building your community. Same thing, yeah? So with building a community, it takes it one more step up, and we are just as adorable as these little guys, aren't they? You need to be building your community online, offline, and what do you reckon this one is? No. That's face to face?
Friends and family.
Yay! Loads and loads of VAs don't tell their friends and family that they've started a VA business because what if they fail? Right? Suddenly they're accountable. Yeah, you've seen this before, Sandra? She's giggling up now. She's giggling up the back, ladies and gentlemen. That's good. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. One of the best marketing fail strategies you can have is not telling your friends and family what it is that you're doing. And friends and family are awesome in terms of you working out how to communicate what it is you do. I love going out networking with, well, nobody loves going out networking, but I love going out networking with my best friend or my husband. And when people say, what do you do? I look at them and go, you tell them. I love that. They're now fluent. They are like the best marketing team. So they're instantly kind of giving a testimonial, which is really cool. But it means that I have adequately explained to them what it is that I'm doing. They've now become part of my sales team, and they get what it is that I'm doing. Has anyone ever put their partner or friend on the spot like that? Yeah, it's fun as, because sometimes they have, like, the stuff they come out with, if you haven't explained yourself well, is awesome. It's hilarious. Please try it, just for fun.
Please do it.
What was that?
Please do it.
Please do it. Yeah, I really, really do want you to try it. So when we're building our community, there's a couple of reasons why, okay? Obviously, we do want to find clients. Clients are nice. But when we're building our community, I find these two are more of my focus than this one, because this one happens because of these ones. Yeah? Does that make sense? So as a VA, one of the things that we were talking about is you don't need to have a massive team of everyone knowing everything. You can connect with like-minded business owners and you work collaboratively, right? So when you build up your resources of people, then you become a go-to person. And as a VA, being a go-to person is really, really valuable. Offshore VAs, for example, I would never see as a go-to person. Okay? And how much do you love a go-to person? I get asked constantly, do you know someone who can do this? Do you know someone who can do that? And it would be from school mums, not just VAs. Rosie, do you know a face painter? Yes, I do. All right, so build up, your list of people. Also ones that you can learn from and lean on. One of my best friends who became my bridesmaid, I met at a speed networking night. How amazing is that? She's completely insane. And I adore her to pieces. She was actually there when Ella was born as well. And I met her at a speed networking night. So when I go to networking now, I think, I could make a new best friend. Takes the pressure off me, but a lot on them. So it's a bit scary when I come in like, So you need to build your community because you will also need to lean on them. And that's where, you guys are amazing at that. It's when you have the VA community and the VAs that embrace community, because there are some solo VAs out there. I don't know how they do it, because it's so isolating and it's quite hard. And so leaning on each other, build up your community so you can lean on each other, because it's hard. And trying to lean on a friend who is an employee of another business is hard, because you're speaking different languages. And some people even have husbands who just go, well, just fire them, or, just have a wine, like they're just,
Have a chocolate.
Yeah, whereas we'd be like, well, if you set up the automation CRM that does the, thing with the duty and the other business owners, all they will say, just fire them. You know that they get where you're coming from. Okay, we need those like-minded people. That will build, for those of you who are new to the VA world, you're already working on that so massively, so hats off to you guys. It's amazing that you're here. You've built up your community by 50 already, and you will find that as you go through those learning curves, you'll just meet more and more self-employed people, and it will just become the norm that they're the ones that you are hanging out with. Don't have to ditch your employed friends, but you do. I do. All right. Who knew I was going to say this? Yeah. Give me some reasons why offshore VAs are a pain in the butt. Cheap.
Don't speak good English.
They don't speak proper like.
Yeah.
What was that? They don't have good at English like we do. What else?
Time zones.
Unreliable. What was that?
Time zones.
Time zones.
I think it's Australian context as well. So the way that we run business, our legislation requirements, our legal obligations as business owners, that's totally different to any other country in the world. Like our payroll system is the most complex in the world. So that knowing that context of why things need to be done a certain way and why that's not good enough or that's substandard is directly related to the context in which we run our businesses in Australia.
Business culture.
Well, not so much business culture, but just it's different the way everything's done.
Yeah. No, it is. It's completely different. I've even found just with Facebook groups where you've got all the different nationalities and stuff, doesn't have to be Filipino or Indian. Even the US-based VAs run very differently to how we do. The whole vibe of it is quite different. So there's a lot of reasons why they can be frustrating, but actually you don't have to worry about any of those at all, which is really cool. So you can tackle those out as well. Tapping Queen of the World. This is how many people are in Australia at the moment. How many clients do you need?
Is that a trick question?
Not really. If you know your money, you should know how many clients you need. So 32% of the world's population lives in Australia?
What?
Yeah! 2018 stats, baby. Yeah, that's massive. So most people are already here. How good is that? How much better do you now feel about offshore VAs? I'm done. No, small businesses in Australia also spend an average of $8,600 per month on outsourced business support. Per month, each business, and there are 1.98 million of them in Australia. Okay, you feel like you might be able to still find a client? Yeah? So that's $204 billion spent on business-to-business support services every year. How many billions do you want? Because I've worked that out. Is that how many? What's 200 divided by 50? It's 4 billion each? Yeah? I'm a mathematical genius. So you're sorted, because billion is what, 8 figures? No. That's a lot. It's a lot of figures. Alright, so relax about offshore. You can't compete on price, as what James was saying before. The target market's different. You may find that you have clients who work with onshore and offshore for different reasons. Understanding why you bring more to the table is your best weapon. Okay? Offshore, as you said, there's the language barriers, there's the lack of communication, sometimes unreliable, different styles of work, not understanding Aussies. Alright? Our business culture, how we work in business is very unique. And that is why you need to step up and deliver on all of those above and beyond just the core service you're offering. Because you can't say hi here in Australia because I'm Australian, and you should be supporting your fellow Aussie. Alright, it's not good enough. People have budgets to stick to, they want to know what the outcome is going to be. You need to say, well, this is the service that I offer, and as an Aussie VA, you get these beautiful benefits. And there are a lot. Okay, would you agree?
Yeah.
The last one is all about communication, okay? Communication is a massive one, and I'm really glad that Amanda was talking about copy before, and the first email about responding to job leads. Can you imagine how I felt when I read that? I had like 7,000 flashbacks. Kathy, how many emails have you had like that, where people respond to a job lead and go, me,
Yes.
please?
And they don't even read what the actual email was that was sent to them.
Yeah.
I just get a response and I'm thinking, did you actually read?
Yes. How much do you want this?
Yes.
You know? It's insane. You've just wasted your own time, you've wasted my time. Okay? So communication, the written word, and having a really good understanding of your client and what their pain points are, what they want to hear, what they want to be, what they want to achieve is massive. Because a lot of people are just not doing that. They're just not, and it's crazy. But that's actually a really, really massive tool for your toolkit, to just do those. Okay? You've got to also remember that when you're communicating, whether it's on the phone, on Skype, on email, on social media, especially social media, everyone, you've got your message, and then it's interpreted, and it's mushed up, and it's changed colour and font and everything, and probably all of the words have changed, and then it's received based on mood, past experiences, religion, financial situation, all of that, okay? Communication is really massive. You don't have, most of the time, the body language part that helps soften words, strengthen words, provide, guide and understand how they're receiving the words. So it's massive because it doesn't matter what's in here. What matters is what's in your client's head and where they've been and where they're coming from. Okay? So how awesome are you now? You realise there's a lot to being a VA, yeah? And you guys are doing a lot of this because you're pretty amazing. Okay? And style and method, which was touched on before as well, in terms of yesterday, I can't remember what animals she threw out. But yeah, there was a peacock in there. And we usually, what do we use? Lion, otter, beaver, and golden retriever, right? So you can Google them as well in terms of personality communication styles. I'm unpredictably a lion, and I think Katrina would possibly be a lion. And knowing that we make decisions quickly, that we actually should be just called a magpie. We like shiny things and grabbing opportunities. That should affect how you communicate with us when you want to sell to us. Years ago I had someone say to me, I want to work for you, and I said, what can you do for me? And they said, anything, and I went, next. Okay? Because there's nothing shiny about anything. It gave me work to do for starters, because I had to think about what they could do. But if they had painted a really cool, exciting picture of what they could achieve for me, being a lion, I would have gone, woohoo, let's do it. All right? So Lyndall, I mean, we're doing it. We're podcasting, baby. Okay, because you've communicated appropriately. Okay, so let's review. I've got 5 minutes. All right, know yourself. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Okay? As a VA, when you start off especially, it's really, really hard to think what's unique about me. Yeah? I'm the same as everyone else. Everyone talks about my unique selling point. If possible, get outside of yourself, whether it's by asking your friends or family or whoever. Get outside yourself and find out what you look like to them. Find out the beauty that they see in you, the uniqueness they see in you, the really cool things you do. Because you won't see them because they're part of your life, they're just you. You see them all the time and it just becomes like, all right? So know yourself, and if you don't know yourself, get someone to tell you who yourself is, make sure it's someone nice, and use that, in your business, okay? And don't feel like you have to copy other people, all right? You'll be found out anyway, so it's not a good idea. Set up a strong business structure. It is easier to build a strong business than to repair a broken one, okay? It's a pain, but don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck on building and then never getting out. Just be smart, record your policies, your processes, use something like Loom to record video processes. I need to do so much more of that in the next couple of weeks because I keep changing my processes. And so that way you've got, systems in place, have agreements in place, have contingencies in place. Earlier this week, I had to send a message to a Viva member saying, I'm sorry, but we've cancelled your membership because you've breached our code of ethics. Okay? So I've got a policy in place, and it was horrible, and I pressed send like that. But you've got to have this stuff in place. Okay, and if you don't know how you want to run your business and why you're running your business, then that sort of stuff's just going to get really, really hard. Okay? Have contingencies. I just said that. One thing that makes it possible to be an optimist is to have a contingency plan for when all hell breaks loose. And that's when you go, what could happen? What's the best that could happen? I always ask myself, what's the worst could happen? And I never answer myself. Like, what's the worst could happen? Alright? So, same thing. Build your community. Most people in here would be either a member of Kathy's network or my network. Do you have a membership?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other little groups and stuff, I think, in here for different types of VA setups. Build your community, get on board with those. Okay, it's really, really valuable. You are working from home or in a cafe or whatever it might be. on your own, build your community. Don't fear offshore VAs. You've got 204 billion businesses spending on average $8,000 a month on business-to-business support. You'll be right. And communicate. Communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. Without it, it dies. I really don't want to end there. So if you're not already a member of Virtually Yours, I would invite you to come check it out at the table at the back there. And I've got some car decals with my stupid picture on the side. They're awesome, and they shine in the dark. You can put them on your car or on your laptop or whatever. Go nuts, they're really funny. And if you're not a member, use the AVAP code to get the first month. Well, you'll get it's $33 a month anyway, so you get it for $3 to check out Viva and see if you like it. We call it Viva, by the way. So that's AVAP 2008. And it's where all the awesome VAs hang out. And this is the reality of working with children. I lied at the start. I really, really want you to realise how amazing you all are, okay? You are game changers. You are independent, powerful people who are doing really cool things that other people simply cannot do. They say, oh, no, I don't have time for it. They can't do it. They suck at it. How many of your clients think, oh yeah, I can do that? They can't. They can't. They suck at it. So you're amazing. Remember your worth to your clients, not your worth to yourself. Hopefully you'll bring that up to the worth to the client, okay? Because I honestly, I look around and I just see so much value in this room. And my dream is for you to see it as well. Okay, if you want to stay in touch, this is where I hang out. So please reach out and connect with me. And if I haven't met you before the end of today, please come and say hello, because I would really like to meet you. Thank you for listening.
Oh, it's only been 3 years I've waited to see her present. I'm a very patient woman. Rosie, that was amazing. And obviously there's lunch now, so you can all huddle up and